Thank you, everybody. Thank you, FAO. Thank you, Earth Day Italia. Thank you to the ministry. It's a great opportunity to be here. It's a great day to be talking about the environment. We definitely have to raise the profile on all our environmental issues. So today I'm going to present the Connect4Climate initiative of the World Bank. Unfortunately, my manager was unable to make it, so I am here instead. I just left the UN negotiations on climate change to come down. So Connect4Climate is a campaign, a coalition, and a community that aims to raise awareness on climate change. There's a quick overview of my presentation. I'll take you through the motivation for the initiative, the values, the strategy, give you some examples of our competitions and our empowerment activities, our events and workshops, and then some concluding remarks. So we all know the science is clear. Climate change is here. The world is warming. The IPCC has said it over and over again. And we know it's due to the emissions of greenhouse gases from humans. We also know that the poor are affected the most. Those living on the margins, reliant on resources that are increasingly becoming unpredictable, are going to be affected the most. In a 2-degree warmer world, the Earth will have fundamentally changed. The water cycle is being affected. The rainfall is not coming when it's supposed to come. And when it does come, it comes in different patterns. The oceans are affected. We know that they're acidifying, and we know that the sea levels are rising. The most recent science is saying that the West Antarctica ice shelf is also melting. So really, if we do not tackle this issue, we will struggle to end poverty, and a lot of the development work we have been achieving over the years will be turned back. But we also know the solutions are there. We know that it's urgent. We know that we have to act now. We know that it's cost effective. Although it might cost a little bit in terms of global GDP to implement the mitigation measures that we need to implement, the gains received from co-benefits, from reducing the externalities of burning fossil fuels that are not being considered at the moment, will easily outweigh the costs of mitigating climate change. We know we have to act on a large scale. The IPCC tells us that to achieve some of the targets it's projecting, we have to treble or quadruple low-carbon energy by 2050. Those are large-scale investments, and they need to happen quite quickly. Already we're adapting to the impacts of climate change, and we have to continue doing that. So Connect4Climate works under this guiding principle of Jim Yong Kim, the president of the World Bank Group, which is, we will never end poverty if we do not tackle climate change. With the World Bank's aim of ending extreme poverty and enhancing shared prosperity, climate change is a fundamental issue that needs to be addressed. So Connect4Climate's guiding strategy is really to inspire climate action, to promote behavioral and social change across diverse audiences, to encourage environmental education, which drives that social change, and to empower the voices of the youth, who are the future generation and who will be affected most by climate change. We and almost 300 partners act to empower the youth, which in turn act as voices for the 7 billion people out there. And by giving them a platform and amplifying their messages, a lot of these are also from communities and from the rural areas, their wishes are being pushed onto the private sector, who are innovating to deliver more sustainable products. And in parallel, their voices are affecting the policymakers who are implementing the policies that will encourage more sustainable practices. And the policymakers also have a feedback loop back onto the private sector. But really, Connect4Climate stands there to amplify and engage a broader network of climate actors. We don't try to replicate what's happening out there already. There's a lot of great work. I'm thinking of Cittadinanza. I'm thinking of Earth Day Italia. There's fantastic work, and we really want to put it out there and amplify it. So over the last couple of years, we've run a number of campaigns, from working with communities in Africa for photo and video competitions to working with the private sector. For example, the Lego Build the Change initiative, where we brought together 4,000 children to build their sustainable cities and their visions of the future, to the advertisement industry, where youth were encouraged to make climate change adverts, to the fashion industry, and increasingly now also with the cities and regional networks. So just to give you an example of our latest campaign, the Action for Climate documentary film competition, these are some of their stories, and if we could play the video, that would be fantastic.
What Action for Climate is doing is sort of challenging filmmakers to speak their voices and to be heard.
影响，所以我们可以为这个世界、为我们环境出一份力。
Makabubuti po sa atin lahat ito para maging aware po tayong lahat sa mga nangyayari sa mundo natin.
So we can take that education and incorporate it and apply it into our characters, our themes, and our films.
We are all participating in this world together, and it's all about our survival of the planet and humanity.
In your time, the world was divided by great wealth and extreme poverty, overwork and unemployment. We were accelerating towards the cliff edge of catastrophic climate change.
Even in these remote areas, the insatiable appetite of capitalism demands a further ravaging of nature.
Dili na masabtan, init na kaayo, kunya sabi po kung uulan, kaya nga ulan.
Dagat diri na papapasit ko to. Ngayon dagat, abri o niti ang alang-ala.
We hope that our efforts can inspire others and be used as a model to achieve energy independence. After all, we want to work with the Earth in all that we do. It's been here way longer than we have.
There is always a day in history when words become actions.
Climate change is a wake-up call. Remember, no one can do everything, but everyone can do something.
Andate per il movimento ambientale, poi cominciamo a promuovere un pochino il risparmio energetico e le fonti alternative.
You must act now in order to transform my near future, so that one day someone will write to me, telling me I did something right.
What are you going to do about it? It is very important to educate our young children to the important aspects of taking care of our environment, then the whole problem of our climate change.
We've got to get serious. We've got to connect on an emotional level. The young people here today know that they're going to be living in a time that's unrecognizable today. We have to listen to them, we have to listen to the scientists, but we have to connect.
So that's a compilation of all the youth and all the amazing stories that came in from around the world. And the message is overridingly that, you know, we can act, solutions are there, and people are doing it on the ground. This is where we can learn a lot of lessons from the mountains and from the rural areas. One example being organic farming. We see how that is revolutionizing the way we're producing our food, and that is a system of incorporating conservation into the actual production process. And that is a learning lesson that we can take to the urban areas, to the cities. And where the ultimate goal is to become a self-sustaining system and basically work on the concept of biomimicry, of copying what the environment is teaching us. So we run campaigns all over the place. This was our latest one with Cittadinanza, knocking out waste here in Italy. Then, just to give you some concluding remarks, we're there to collaborate and cooperate, to raise the profile of climate actions that are already taking place. It's really important to link climate change to poverty because it's the most vulnerable who are being affected, and they're the least responsible for the issue. We need to emphasize that early action actually will cost us a lot less in the long term. So the urgency of the acting is really now. We also need to show that mitigation does not hinder economic development. I mean, talking about those externalities, True Cost did a calculation, and they came up with a figure of $4.7 trillion of externalities that are not being factored into the current economic system. We really need to emphasize every individual can make a difference, and we need to empower the educators to lead us through that. So this is our latest publication. It's coming out today on Earth Day in partnership with this initiative. Thank you so much.